Frank, my trophy husband of 10 years, would never know that I had already decided to transfer 15% of Hayes Group shares to him. Until the day of the physical exam, I discovered that the son born to my husband and me, both with type O blood, actually had type A blood. Looking at the son who was a miniature version of my husband, I said nothing, and calmly did only two things. First, I secretly plucked a strand of my son's hair.
Mom? Just tucking your hair. Keep playing.
Second, I tore up the share transfer agreement I had prepared. Watching Ethan walk into school, I turned and went to the DNA testing center.
Expedited. What's the soonest I can get the results? Standard is 5 business days. Expedited would be before 4 p.m. today at 3 times the cost. Expedited.
When I handed over the sample, my hand trembled a little. After swabbing my own cheek cells, I sat in the waiting area, staring at the clock on the wall as the minutes and seconds ticked by. During that time, I contacted a private investigator.
I want you to look into my husband, Frank, especially his whereabouts over the past few months.
At 3:40 p.m., my phone rang. The results were in. I opened the electronic report and scrolled straight to the end.
DNA analysis indicates that the probability of a parent-child relationship between Vivian Hayes and Ethan Miller is 0.0001%. Based on genetic marker analysis, Vivian Hayes is not supported as the biological mother of Ethan Miller.
Even though I had been prepared, the moment I saw those words, I still panicked for an instant, then leaned against the wall and sat down. Not my child. I had raised a child who was not my biological child for 9 years. Then where was my child? I immediately went to Methodist Hospital, where I had given birth 9 years ago, and met with the obstetrician from back then, who is now the department head. I got straight to the point and asked,
Dr. Thompson, I'd like to pull my delivery records and in-shunt files from that year. It's been so long, the records may have already been archived. I need to see them. Now.
After some effort, someone from the records room finally brought out a folder. I opened it and found that the records were extremely sparse. Only the admission and discharge times, the method of delivery, and the newborn's weight. There was no detailed labor and delivery process, no nursing handoff notes, no pediatrician examination report.
Is this all?
This is all that's in the system. Paper records for standard obstetric cases are kept for 10 years, and yours is about to reach the end of that period.
What about the newborn's footprints? The blood test records?
Those should be in the newborn records, but we couldn't find them.
It couldn't be more obvious. Something was wrong here. An overly brief medical record, a missing newborn file, and a son who was not my biological child but looked just like my husband. My phone rang. It was Frank.
Where did you go? I picked up Ethan.
I'm out taking care of something. I'll be right back.
I only then remembered that school had already let out, but fortunately I had informed the teacher earlier. I said this and hung up the phone. After dinner, I excused myself with a headache and went back to my room early.
I have a headache. I'm going to bed early.
Frank stayed in the living room helping Ethan with his homework, and the sound of their conversation drifted over faintly.
Dad, is Mom upset?
Mom is just tired. Finish your homework and go to bed early.
Once they were both asleep, I began quietly searching the entire house. The master bedroom, the living room, Ethan's room. I searched everywhere and found nothing. Finally, I looked at the computer in the study, thinking the truth had to be in there. Footsteps sounded outside the door. I exited the document. When Frank pushed the door open and came in, I was tidying up the desk. He glanced at the computer screen, which had already returned to the desktop, a photo of the two of us taken 3 years ago at Santa Monica Beach.
Not asleep yet?
Organizing some old documents.
I answered while casually turning off the monitor. He stood there for a moment, as if he wanted to say something, but in the end, he just nodded.
Get some rest soon.
I sat in the darkness, listening to the sound of his footsteps gradually fading away. That night, I didn't open the computer again and lay in bed with my thoughts in chaos. The next morning, I still let Frank take Ethan to school. He looked at me, picked up the car keys.
All right.
Once they were out the door, I immediately went to the study. I turned on the computer and entered the password, our wedding anniversary. Wrong. I tried his birthday. Wrong. Our son's birthday. Still wrong. I tried the date of our first date, his mother's birthday, the day the company was founded. All wrong. The system prompted me to try again in 15 minutes. I sat in the chair, staring at the login screen. This computer we had bought together was now locked to me. That evening, Frank came home from work and said while taking off his jacket,
I have a business trip to Chicago tomorrow. Not sure how long it'll be yet.
I came out of the kitchen carrying a dish.
So sudden. Who are you going with?
It was arranged last minute. Vivian, can you not be like this?
I watched him in silence, not understanding why such a casual question from me would provoke such a big reaction.
You question everything? You suspect everyone. I'm just going for work.
I turned away to serve the rice, my hand trembling a little.
It was just a casual question.
He said nothing more and went straight into the bedroom. Dinner was eaten in silence. Ethan seemed to sense something and, surprisingly, didn't pick at his food. After his shower, Frank came out and picked up his coat from the sofa to hang it in the closet. A small receipt fell out of the pocket and landed at my feet.